Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's Haley. So today we're doing another dupe video and I'm doing it on the Colourpop Yes Please palette, comparing it to the Natasha Denona Sunset palette. Now I know I raved and raved about the Sunset palette. I've done a few tutorials on my channel already with this palette and as you can see I really use it. You can see already some dents in it. I just really love this palette. So whenever I saw Colourpop kind of come out with the dupe of it, I knew I had to pick it up, and this was only $16. And if you have heard of Natasha Denona, you know her palettes are pretty expensive. I believe the Sunset palette is $130, so 16 compared to 130 is a really big price difference. So I wanted to see if they were dupes. And also in this video, I did do a tutorial and put them on my eyes to see if they were actual dupes on the eyes. So if you would like to see this video, see swatches, see my thoughts, and also see a tutorial on this look, then just keep watching. Okay, so at first, just going to start off this video by showing you the size difference. So as you can see, there's a pretty big size difference. The Colourpop one is 0.85 grams of shadow. And they are quite smaller than the actual Colourpop shadows that if you were to buy individually. These are a little bit smaller, which is fine with me. It's not like I'm going to go through a whole eyeshadow. And again, this was only $16, so can't complain. But it is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. In the Natasha Denona palette, it's 2.5 grams, so it's a lot more shadow for your money, as it should be, $430. And you get more shadows in here. So you're getting 15 shadows versus 12 that are in this palette. So now we're just going to do swatches of it so we can actually see if they swatch similar to dupes, and then we'll get into the tutorial and my thoughts on if I think that they're comparable or, you know, if I think they're dupes. So right now I have one side is Colourpop, one side is Natasha Denona. I don't know if you guys can tell. I think they look pretty similar on the eyes. I don't think you can tell a difference at all. But let me know what you guys think down below. Go ahead and comment what side you think is what before we get into the video and I tell you. But yeah, so let's just get into the swatches. So I think I'm just going to go down the rows of the Colourpop palette and swatch the Natasha Denona shadow that is a dupe for it. So the first shade is Bling, and there is no dupe for this because the Natasha Denona palette has a white that has a ton of shimmer in it, so it's not going to be comparable to this. But the next three shades, there are dupes, so I'm going to go ahead and swatch them on my hand. Okay, so here is the first row on my hand. So the first shade is the Colourpop Champs, the Natasha Denona Horizon, the Colourpop Big Cocktails, the Natasha Denona Bermuda, Colourpop Full Zip, and Natasha Denona Atmosphere. So as you can see, they're all really similar. I would say the closest one out of this row is definitely the pink shades. I would say these two are a little different, as you can see, and the orange ones, the tones are just a little different, but they do swatch very similar. Okay, here's the next row. This one right here is Colourpop GNO and Natasha Denona Morgana. Then Colourpop Spoiled, Natasha Denona Sundazed, Colourpop Buttercake, Natasha Denona Panjin, Colourpop Louis, and Natasha Denona Senna. Now, as you can see, the reds are a little different. The Colourpop is a little bit more darker red, where the Natasha Denona has a little bit more of that orange in it. And then I would say that these two shades are different. The shimmers, the Natasha Denona is more duochrome. It has a lot of that orange and yellow glitter in it. And also the other two, Natasha Denona Sundazed, it's a lot more pigmented and foiled looking. Then the Colourpop ones, they're just more shimmer, where the Natasha Denonas are more foiled and just more intense. And then the last two, I would say, are pretty similar. The Natasha Denona one is just a tad more orange. Okay, last row, Colourpop French Kiss, Natasha Denona Soul, Colourpop Chauffeur, which we didn't have a dupe for the Natasha Denona palette, Colourpop Note to Self, Natasha Denona Mandarin, Colourpop Chauffeur, and Natasha Denona Volcano. So as you can tell, the Volcano shade is a little bit more cool tone brown, where the Colourpop one has that red underneath it, so it's a little bit warmer. The two shimmers are not spot on, but they are really similar. And then the yellows, I would say, are pretty similar. So now we're just going to get in the tutorial part of this video so you can guys see how these apply and see if you think there's a difference. And then we'll get into my thoughts about what I think about the formula and everything. Okay, so we're going to start with the Colourpop palette, and we're going to take Champs, this really nice orange shade, and we're going to put this in the crease. Okay, for the Natasha Denona side, we're going to be taking Horizon, and I just cleaned off my brush, and we're going to use the same brush for the crease. I would say the Colourpop one has a little bit more peach in it, a little bit more red, as you can see. They're not exact, but they do look pretty similar. Okay, now from the Colourpop palette, we're going to be taking Louis. And we're just going to be putting this a little bit lower in the crease. And I'm not going to be doing anything too creative with this look today. We just want to see if the colors are a dupe for each other. So I'm going to try to use all the colors that I can, but it's not going to be anything crazy creative today. Okay, for the Natasha Denona side, we're going to be taking Senna. Okay, from the Colourpop palette, we're going to be taking French Kiss, this yellow shade right here, and we're just going to blend this up there just to make it not as orange in the crease. Just going to make it a little bit lighter. And then from the Natasha Denona palette, we're going to be taking Soul. From the Colourpop palette, just to darken it up, we're going to be taking Mischief. And for the Natasha Denona side, we're going to be taking Volcano. Okay, so then to fill in that inner corner and make everything blend together, we're just going to pop on this more pinkish, creamish tone shade here, and this is called Big Cocktails from the Colourpop palette. And then from the Natasha Denona palette, we're going to be taking Bermuda. Okay, to highlight the brow bone, we're going to be taking this shade right here called Bling from the Colourpop palette. And the Natasha Denona palette, there's not just a white like bone shade that's matte. They only have a shimmer. So I'm just going to take the same Colourpop one and put it on the other eye as well. Okay, so there is the top lids. I think they look pretty similar. I will say that the Natasha Denona shadows blended a lot better, and I feel like you can tell on this side it just blended a lot better than the Colourpop one. It's just a little bit more choppy, but overall they look pretty exact to me. What do you guys think? Okay, so we're going to do the bottom lash lines. We're just going to go back into this orange shade called Champs. And back in with Horizon from the Natasha Denona palette. Now jumping back in with Louis. And Senna from the Natasha Denona palette. Then just to smoke it out a little bit more and get right up on that lower lash line, we're going to be taking Mischief from the Colourpop palette. And then lastly, from the Natasha Denona palette, we're taking Volcano. Okay, so this is it for the eyeshadow look. So I'm just going to throw in some liner and some lashes, and I'll be right back to share with you guys my thoughts. Okay, so I think that these look super similar on the eyes. Now that I have liner and lashes on, what do you guys think? I really don't think you can tell a difference. I think they look really similar. So what I think about the formula is I have used Colourpop shadows before. I've made a whole video on them when I first got them, like way back when, like a few months ago. And I will say that the powders are super powdery compared to the Natasha Denona. Obviously, I would hope that they're not the same, like formula-wise, because the price difference, and I definitely can tell a difference in the quality. So what I'm saying is, when I applied it, yes, the Colourpop, they have amazing pigment, they do. You just really have to work with the Colourpop shadows to make sure that you get it all blended and so it looks nice. Because with the Natasha Denona ones, you know, it really takes no effort to blend them out really nicely, whereas the Colourpop, you really have to take your time and, you know, put a little bit more effort in it. But I mean, the shadows are super cheap, so, you know, what do you expect? But I find that they look really similar on the eyes. The only difference I see is maybe the pinks are like a tad different. Like I think the Colourpop one is a tad bit more pink, but I don't even know if you guys can tell on camera. I think they're super similar. But yes, I just had a harder time blending out the Colourpop ones than the Natasha Denona. The Natasha Denona just blended all together really easily, where I had to work more with the Colourpop. But yes, I think you can get similar looks. So if you don't want to break the bank and spend $130, you can pick up the $16 one and create similar looks. Of course, you're missing out on all the beautiful foil shades that Natasha Denona has to offer, because Colourpop does not have these beautiful foil shades. And I find that these are amazing in that sometimes I don't even use glitter glue. I know I've been using it a lot recently, but you can still wear these without glitter glue and it'll last all day. And these are just super pigmented and buttery, and I just love the formula of these shadows. So you're not going to be getting this formula and this pigment from the Natasha Denona in the Colourpop one, but these are pigmented for what you're paying for. They're just more powdery and you just got to work a little bit more. So that is it for this video, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I can't believe how similar they look. Like, that's crazy to me. But yeah, so if you guys want to see more videos from me, then please subscribe. And if you want to see more dupe videos or another look using these palettes, or if you want to see a look using the Colourpop one, then please let me know. And if you have any video requests, leave them down below for me so I know what you guys want to see. But please give this video a thumbs up before you leave, and I really hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.